I'm with Kim Stiles, who lives in Thorpedale, which is about 100 kilometres from here in Pakenham and about an hour and 3/4 from Melbourne.
Yes, 170 kilometres.
170 kilometres. So you're not in the outer Barcoo where the churches are few
No.
and the men of religion are scanty, but nonetheless you've got no broadband at all. So
None.
why don't you have any broadband?
Well, one is that our farm is about 7 kilometres from the nearest telephone exchange.
Yep.
And of course that means that the distance prevents us from having ADSL or DSL service.
Yep.
And we're in a hilly region, we're in the Strzelecki Ranges, so that means that the topography of the area means that anything with line of sight access is problematic. So we have no 3G and no 4G service either for voice or for data. And we also don't have any wireless service, so that means we can't obtain access that way. Satellite is available, however, at the time that we were trying to obtain satellite registration, it had been closed, and so we were unable to obtain even interim satellite access.
And this is, Kim was has been a victim of the problems of the interim satellite service, which was announced to have a eligible audience of 250,000 premises, but only enough capacity for 48,000, and of course that meant that you missed out. This is why the eligibility for a satellite service is so important, and also a reminder that the people who need the satellite are not all living in the middle of Australia. They're in areas often reasonably close to the city that for a variety of reasons, topography in particular, don't allow you to get broadband. So the announcement that we've made today about changes to the interim satellite will make additional capacity available so that Kim would be eligible to get a service. And of course, when the long-term satellite is available towards the end of 2015, there will be much more capacity available for people in areas like this. The satellite is a critical part of the NBN solution, and if you think about the coverage of the country, you've got the larger urban areas covered by fixed line deployments, then less densely settled areas covered by wireless, but then a lot of patches, big ones in the middle of the country, but even relatively close to the city, that really can only be accessible in any sort of vaguely cost-effective way by satellite. So what are you doing for your broadband access now, Kim?
I have a very special internet cafe about 1.5 kilometres from home. It has one bar, which all of us love a bar, and it has a ceiling about 35 metres high.
Yeah.
And it's about 3 or 4 metres wide, and it's my car parking spot underneath the pine trees where I can get one bar of mobile phone service that I connect to my tablet to do my internet work. The alternative for me is to drive well over 20 kilometres to the nearest free library internet, and they're the only two options that I have at the moment.
Okay, well, the changes to the interim satellite will enable you to get access in the near term and longer term from end of 2015, and as the long-term satellite is rolled out, people in your position will be able to get a much better service, 25 megs on the long-term satellite. So your local internet cafe will lose a customer.
Indeed.
Okay, thanks a lot, Kim.
No, thank you.